This video is going to be a solo GM showing you Telesto Besto in GM Nightfall gameplay solo-wise and how it performs. Okay, so my build, like I said, this is bonus content, so I'm not going great detailed depths of everything. The video is mainly about Telesto. I'm using Nezarec Sim with Song of Flame, that style of build that I've been using for a while now. Okay, so I'm going to get a turret in middle. It's 1-0 GM. I'm going to get a rift arm here. This is generally where I like to stand. And then we're just going to multi-kill. Now, notice the rework to Harbinger's Sieve. Oh, that's now the new thing with Telesto. Look at the meld there. Turret was really good in middle there, so I was allowed to kill all the ads in middle. I get my Harbinger's Sieve buff, which I'll talk about as we go through this. So the rework Telesto is when you get the reload perk on Telesto to proc 3 times, you will get the Telesto bolts. The Telesto bolt damage when procced does sizable damage and is actually worth a consideration for GMs. The problem with the perk is it's not proccing enough, people. I think this procs for me 2 to 3 times in this run. I probably could have got 4 uses out of it. Yeah? But the problem is when you use it, chances of you getting it back are less likely for the next target. So it wasn't like... I wasn't getting it enough. The Harbinger Sieve, Catalyst rework proc wasn't really working that much. But... base damage of Telesto was chunking, so by the time I was thinking about doing the perk, I killed the champ. Let's just pay attention to damage. So look, I get a turret up here. I'm going to take care of the Hydra, which, oh, we're going to prime here. So this is we prime, do massive damage, then we get the bolts. Look at that, and it's doing some bolt damage to the champ. Look at the chunk. Just melted a Hydra and an unstoppable, so yeah, it really... Look at that. What happened there with the unstop? I was wanting to finish him. That's fine. So yeah, with the run itself, I want you to pay attention to the damage base that it's doing. When I get the Void Cloud up, what that's like. And the ammo capacity of Telesto. Really decent on ammo economy. I know we've got Dreadful Finisher, which means unlimited special. But even if we didn't have that, Telesto's really good on ammo economy. And it's good that way. It is. I'm going to use a bit of LMG. The LMG's on for a particular reason, to speed the run-up at the boss fight. And it's nice to be paired with Nezarec. It's a void weapon. It's Retrofit Escapade. It does a lot of good things for me. But I don't want that to be the idea. I don't want that to take over the idea of the video. It's all about Telesto. I'm assuming that the community poll that I've done, Telesto will win. I'm assuming it. That's why I'm making this one first. But obviously I'll see which one runs. I've done 3 runs. I've done Telesto, Jotun, and Whisper of the Worm. Okay, so this is my strat. I sparrow all the way, or skim out all the way to the back of the map, and my goal is to melt down that barrier. Melted him very quickly, got a Transcendence usage. I'm not going to pop Surb, I don't need it for this. My requirements are just the barrier, adds, and the unstop. Watch this melt here, get Radiant. Oh, the bolt charge. But Telesto is chunk, and it is... Void Surge, I believe it's Void Surge every single week, so you can use this next week still and do well with it. It melts unstops, solo 1 cycles unstops. Just putting it out there. So if you stun an unstop with Telesto, with particle reconstruction, sorry, you will kill that champ in 1 phase. Whenever I'm judging a special weapon, that is one of my tests I do with the weapon. So Telesto's doing the damage, doing more damage than what you would think because of Void Surge. So it's actually kind of viable to run it, especially with the sandbox that we're in at the minute. So yeah, you can run it and be quite effective with it. You can do it on the harder GMs as well. I'm just doing Warden because I'm just doing Warden. But yeah, you can definitely do it. Warden's a good test because he's got all 3 champs and there's a lot of champs in this and it's a short GM. So it's a decent GM to test things. That's why I went with Warden. For the Whisper of the Worm run, I won't be doing Warden though. It'll be a different GM, which I'll post all 3 runs. Okay, so I pop a super here. I'm taking my while with that champ. He TPs, but I kill him. That's fine. I got the kill credit. Then I go over to the other champ. So the super is to take care of the barrier on that pedestal. That is the hardest barrier in this. So if we can get rid of him with a super, everything else is really easy at that point. Look, Buzzard is for barrier champs, melts, targets, it stun locks, adds. Buzzard's fantastic with kinetic tremors. And I'm using that to take... See, the reason why I didn't do double special on Telesto run is because you'll get less ammo with Telesto. If you run double special, your special bricks are halved. Remember this. So if you want to spam a particular special weapon, don't run double special. Run a primary so that your special weapon ammo goes into the special weapon of choice. In my case, it's Telesto. So don't run double special with this. I wouldn't recommend it. You want to spam Telesto more? Right, well then use a primary, and I have to use a sidearm primary because it's barrier champs. You know, I don't have to, but it's ease of run, and Buzzards goes on, it's fantastic anyways for a lot of super energy. I got scammed here on my Transcendence. Unfortunate. The boss was taking ages. I'll pop a Transcendence here. Let's just see what Telesto chunk damage is. Not about numbers, I'm just looking at chunk damage. Visual representation, check. We have spreadsheets to check DPS numbers. We have that. But use your instincts, and when you're using a build or a weapon, check a visual representation of damage. This can easily be done solo. It's the easiest way to do it solo in actual fact. Stun and unstop. Do damage with the weapon that you have in mind. Is it chunking? Is the answer yes or no, or is it lukewarm? If it's lukewarm, then that's your test done, isn't it? You don't need to go on in those spreadsheets. You've already done your test. Anyone can do it. Just do that visual damage check. Is it chunking for you? In a solo GM, yes or no? If the answer's no, then that's your test done, isn't it? It's probably not good enough, the weapon. In this case, you could solo any GM with Telesto. Possible. But I want a short video, and this is bonus content for the week. So, you know, I'm not going to go and do psyops with Telesto because, you know, I've done psyops all week. You know, I'm starting to get a little tired of psyops. I don't want to do another psyops. I've already done plenty of psyopses, so I'm not doing another one. But unstop damage on the champ there, pretty good. I've got a turret in middle. Combines very well with bolt charges to Telesto. It seems to do a good job. Everything does, I suppose. I've got Harbinger Sieve, and I should have used it here, and I didn't. So, yeah, I think if I was to run this back, I would try to use it more, but you must understand, to get Harbinger Sieve to proc 3 times in a GM is quite difficult. So here's what I suggest what they should do with the Telesto Catalyst. The damage from the Catalyst is good enough. We want it more frequent. And you need to proc it off single target damage. So what I suggest is that there's a Telesto meter on the left hand side. So it's not blocks, it's a meter, much like Manticore. Give it the Manticore bar, yeah, or you know that type of thing, where you charge it off void detonations off Telesto. It's void clusters. The more void cluster damage, the more progress bar you get, and you proc it more frequently. I'm not saying it should be procced loads, but it should be procced quite a bit more than what it is right now. The only way to get it is off red bars, multi-kills. That's the only way to get the void cloud. You can't get it off champs unless you kill 3 champs back to back, which is going to be quite difficult in general circumstances, isn't it? You're not going to just kill champs like red bars, although I'm doing that right now, aren't I? I pop a super there to kill the 2 barriers. The Hypernova, I didn't know where he is, and I'm not committing to him, so I just ran away. He's done. He's dealt with, you know. Get another turret in middle. I'm going to get the barrier champ this time. I should be using my Telesto Prime. Don't worry, I do prime it. But by the time I think about priming it, these champs are getting melted with Buzzard. My build. I felt really strong in this run. I really did. I've got a double buff on the floor. Let's see the double buff. Ooh, Telesto double buff chunk with Path of Ambition. Look at that damage. That was really good. Okay, so we're 9 minutes in. So far, this is competitive to other runs that I've done for Ward and Solo GM this season. It's not consecration levels, but it's, you know, competitive with other things that I've ran for Warden. Time-wise, I'm on about time-wise now. Not that I'm speedrunning, I'm just comparing the gun. I'm just thinking about, you know, the differences between what I've done in the previous GMs for Warden compared to this. I get a good stun there on the barrier. Then we're going to use Telesto. We've popped a Transcendence. That was a good Transcendence pop because that's dealt with everything, including the Unstoppable look. Including Radiant and Bolt Charge. Look at that melt. Yeah, Telesto does seem to be really doing well with Bolt Charges. I don't know if the Bolt Charges, the Telesto Bolt Charges are considered as ability damage to interact with Bolt Charge. I don't know. I haven't tested it to that degree, but you're getting stuns anyways. I guess because of Defib Blast, it's because of Defib Blast. When you stun a champ, you get Bolt Charges, so that's what's going on. But your Telesto stuns Unstop, so you proc a Bolt Charge as you stun the Unstop, so that's what's going on with that. Also, when you stun a barrier, you get it as well. That's why Defib Blast is so good this season. It's probably the best artifact mod this season for GMs. It's just the best, probably. It's unbelievable. Like, no matter what build you run, every season, every build this season I've ran has always had Defib Blast on. Okay, this Overload, don't touch him. I was worried there it was going to mess up. So you can skip that Overload, never kill him, never touch him. You may get plat, you may get gold. Don't kill the Overload ever for Warden. Always skip. You will definitely get platinum rank. If you kill him, there might be another Overload that spawns that you don't kill and get gold. I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't, ask me about it. I can tell you more in depth. Just don't touch the Overload. Look at that. We primed the Telesto Clouds and pop a super, which it should get benefit from Song of Flame Radiant, the Telesto. But yeah, that was doing decent. Just melt the VIP. That's that's the whole strat. It speeds it up. 12 minutes in, for comparison, I was doing the other day there, not the other day, the other few weeks ago, Warden in 12 minutes on a Consecration Titan. 12 to 11 minutes. Can't remember what the time was now. That was on a Consecration Titan, you know, going relatively fast. Telesto has got to the boss at 12 minutes, so it's only 2-3 minutes behind the Consecration Titan. For me. Not on about like other people. I'm just comparing my own things. Yeah. So as a point of reference, to get to the boss in 12 minutes, and I know Warden's an easy GM, but to time crunch the GM, yeah, things change. You know, a GM might be easy, but once you start time crunching runs, the run gets a little bit more difficult because you've got to start strategizing your stuff. Like, when do you use a super? When do you use a Transcendence? How do you do this bit? How do you do that bit? So 12 minutes, nearly 30, we're getting to 13 minutes now. Telesto's passed the test as, is this a good exotic to run in GMs? Yeah. If I seen someone in LFG with Telesto, I actually wouldn't call them for it. I'd be like, you know what? That's pretty good. Transcendence pop, barrier is the critical thing. Now, just pay attention to Super Energy. Pay attention to Super Energy. This is what Salt of Grapo was going about yesterday. I have no comment to say about it because I don't want to be getting roped into it. But this is what Salt of Grapo was exactly talking about yesterday. I don't need to say no more, do I? Look at the Transcendence bar and look at the Super bar. I'm fine with it. More Supers and more Transcendences for me when I'm solo. I'm alright. Yeah? There's a way around it as well to get more. Look at what I'm playing around with the champ, people. I'm playing with them. Don't take it out of context. I'm playing with him. Look, Transcendence is full. Super is almost full. Delaying. I'm on a solo GM. I want a solo one cycle Warden. In order to do that, I want my Transcendence and my Super to confirm the kill. It confirms it. That's exactly what it does. But yeah, look. Buzzard, fantastic. That is a good representation of how good Buzzard can be. We connect tremors. Okay, turret goes down. Rift. Transcendence pop for debuff plus Radiant. Then look at the Telesto chunks. Here we go. Let's visual representation damage. That's it. That's a pass. That's MOT passed for Telesto, look. That's fantastic. When the boss enrages, yeah, I counter him with a Song of Flame. That's why you use Song of Flame at the back end of damage, not at the start of damage. But yeah, I'm just going to finish him off with Retrofit. This is why it goes on, because it just melts, look. With Target Lock, etc. In your Song of Flame, Target Lock ×4, ×5. And we end up melting him. So yeah, that was a solo gem with Telesto. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.